So we're about to turn our lives upside down and we want to document it and we need your help and we want to help others. So buckle up. We're going on an adventure. For how long, Damien?
Who knows, Lauren? Who knows?
And who knows, but maybe listeners do. Let's see. And let's get on with it.
So we've dabbled in podcasting over the years. For those of you that might have already listened or watched us, we used to rabble on about some different topics, but welcome back. For those of you that are new to us, thank you very much for joining. We are the BMO Family Podcast. I am Damien and you are Lauren. We are co-founders of an ever-growing family of 5. We're about to grab life by the balls and do something that by all accounts could be seen as absolutely mental, but you only get one life. So I'm going to get the plug in early for this, but if you want to join us on this journey for the next year or whatever of chaos and mayhem, please subscribe, comment, like, share, do your thing. It'll really help us when we're in a rainforest of Borneo, questioning our life decisions, having those likes and subscribes. So Lauren, let's get on with the show. Let's kick things off, explain a bit why we are here.
So, as I says, we're in the process of completely turning our life upside down, hopefully for the better. We're selling the house. So, a little side note, if you're looking for a lovely 3-bedroomed house in Haddington, then hit us up. So, we're selling all of our belongings. The kids are leaving school and nursery. I'm on maternity leave, and I'm very grateful and lucky enough to have a job that I can take a sabbatical from. Damien, unfortunately, or fortunately, you never know, lost his job at the end of March, so he was made redundant. So he's currently jobless for the first time in his life. Wow. And the saying, everything happens for a reason. Well, I'm a firm believer for that. And I think this is a push that we've needed for our family. We always spoke about moving somewhere, but just spoke about it. But I think this is a push that we needed to actually take action and do it. So we're buying that one-way ticket, we're getting on that plane, and the world is our oyster.
Literally.
Literally.
But before we get into that, maybe it's good for anyone that hasn't been here before to explain a bit about who we are and our family, I think, right? It's always a bit awkward doing this, I feel. So I actually decided I was going to do it for like, what's that program? Blind Date. Are you too young for Blind Date?
Is that
You never
Love
seen Blind
Island?
Date before? No, it's like old school Love Island.
No, you're older than me.
So in there, they used to say, "Hi, Cilla." Do you know Cilla Black? No.
The singer?
No. So anyways, hi, Cilla. I'm Damien. I'm 35 years old, unemployed, father of 2 from Haddington, just outside of Edinburgh.
You've got 3.
3, single and ready to mingle. No, but you are too young for Blind Date. So yeah, I'm Damien. I'm 35. I'm unemployed, father of 3. But on a serious note, and most of that was true, I am unemployed for the first time in my adult life after a successful career in people leadership for lots of different cool companies. Also been quite sick recently and still am a bit sick. So I think that's given us a kind of bit of like this fuck it mentality of, if not now, then when? And maybe you don't get a chance of, when in the future.
Yeah.
So it needs to be done. Lauren, who are you? Maybe you can do family as well.
Yeah.
Given that I forgot how many kids I have.
So, hi, I'm Lauren. I am 21 years old, plus 11 years. We have 3 amazing kids. So Daisy, who's 8, Lex, who's 3, and Zena, who's only 5 months old. As I said, I'm currently on maternity leave, so I'm in full-time mum mode. I am what are you laughing at? I am a firm believer.
Full-time mum brain mode.
Yeah. Damien doesn't believe that you get a mum brain after you've had children, but that's for a different podcast. I am a firm believer in that everyone happens for a reason, and I think this is our chance to do the what if. Anyway, on to the exciting stuff. So what's the plan? Shall I go over a brief plan? So we're leaving the UK. Exciting. We're selling the house.
Trying to sell the house.
The car and basically everything that we own. So our initial plan is to take a gap year, try different places, do what they call slow travel, especially because we've got young children, and we want to just soak in the atmosphere rather than rush to each different place. There's no reason why we need to do that. So we've been following lots of families who are doing something similar and hope to learn from them. And no, we aren't completely mental. We have got a plan B and, of course, a contingency plan. Damien is the king of planning, whereas me, I am, as he calls me, Captain Chaos. So once
Captain Chaos with mum brain.
with mum brain, yeah,
Nah.
which leads to a lot of Damien's anxiety, I think. Anyway, it's fun. we aren't. Wait, sorry. We want to explore different countries, learn about different cultures, which could potentially lead to settling somewhere else.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Open
Open.
to that, definitely. Very brief commercial break there. When we used to podcast, or when we last podcast, it was just the dog that used to disturb us, but now there's also a baby and a dog
Yeah.
that might disturb us. So, so as we were talking about, we are boarding a plane with a one-way ticket, and for a lot of people, that will seem maybe quite rash and perhaps even a bit irresponsible with 3 children. From your perspective, what would you say has led us to this point, just to try and contextualize it a bit more?
So we do live a relatively comfortable lifestyle. However, when you were working, we were literally just living for the weekend or that 2-week holiday a year
Yeah.
that you probably got yourself in significantly a lot of debt for.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where even Daisy was asking, "Oh, when's it the weekend?" And it's just, you're literally living for those 2 days, and everything just feels so busy all the time. Like, you're just rushing to one place and another, passing ships in the night, as the saying goes, and you just feel like you go on autopilot and aren't actually present in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're always just looking for that next thing, and there's always something that needs done. And then when you lost your job, and we were talking, and we just thought, fuck it, let's try something different. We've always spoke about wanting to live in a different country, and it's always been, right, okay, we'll do it when we've done this, or we'll do it when we've done this. But actually, I think the decision was kind of taken out of our hands with you losing your job, and we thought, right, it's actually now or never.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go.
It's a bit like kids, isn't it? Like we've talked with friends about that, and I think we've talked about that as well, where you go, oh, right, we'll be ready when, we'll do it when, and the reality is, if it's something that you want to do, the stars will probably never all align.
No.
Just like when you have kids, oh, we want to have this much money, we want to have this kind of house, we want to have. There needs to be a point where you kind of rip the plaster off, and we were a bit not forced into it, because I could have just got another job,
Yeah.
and I still can just get another job, but it's just presented an opportunity for us.
Yes.
That, yeah, maybe we can try something different.
Yeah, and everyone only gets one life.
Yeah.
So, got to try it in this lifetime, haven't you?
No, completely agree. When you've started to share what we're about to do, what kind of reactions would you say that we've had?
Well, I've had a various mixture of reactions to, wow, yous are mental. Can't believe you're doing it with 3 children. It's quite irresponsible, that was like more negative stuff. But other people have been completely on board and been like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I wish I had the guts to do that. I could, like, go and do it. You only get one life. And yeah, it's just, I guess it depends what kind of person you're telling it to.
Yeah, but I think it's amazing how many people say, depending on their age, I wish I had the guts to do that.
Or wish I had done that.
Yeah, and it's like,
and I don't want to be in that position.
no, and there's, I would say, 90% of people, it's one of those 2 things.
Yeah.
And then you get the 10% of people that have a negative reaction. But I also think that you mentioned slow travel. Like, we aren't going somewhere for 2 weeks.
No.
We'll never be somewhere for 2 weeks.
No.
Ever.
No.
So it'll be, a month, 45 days, 2 months.
Yeah.
So no, I think maybe we can come back and do an episode on what people say and maybe a bit why they say it.
Yeah.
Good. So maybe good to give some context as to why we're here banging on about this, because we love the attention, obviously, and we want to be influencers. But aside from that, but to be honest, the podcast exists because we reached a point, and you touched on it, where we realized we weren't fully satisfied with the life we were building in the UK, and we could have continued to build it, but then we wanted to perhaps explore something different. And I think that's quite a strange thing to admit out loud, because on paper, life looked good. We co-founded 2 businesses in the last few years. I've had a great career. You have a great career. We've got great kids, healthy kids. We've got lovely house. We've got a good routine. All the things that you're supposed to have on paper. But over time, we've definitely both started having this feeling of like, is this it?
Yeah. Society says you have to have all these things. But why?
Yeah. And not in an ungrateful
No,
way.
not at all. No, like,
Because I think
yeah,
that's the line that some people automatically want to jump to, like,
yeah,
oh, you don't appreciate this, you don't appreciate that.
we absolutely
It's
do.
quite the opposite.
Yeah,
It's just is this it? And it
yeah,
might be it.
yeah, and it's
We
fine.
might,
Yeah,
we might go away for 6 months and come back and go, oh, this is it.
yeah.
And fab. But
We
I
don't
think
know that until we've done it.
when you've got that itch that you feel as if you want to scratch, surely it's better to go and scratch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just that feeling of maybe there's another way to live. Maybe there's a version of life that's either slower or healthier, or where we feel more connected to the kids, or we can be a bit more intentional about the things that we enjoy. And who knows, maybe even happier. So let's see. But instead of ignoring that feeling, we've just decided to do something about it. And the podcast exists because we realised that there must be thousands of other families out there asking themselves exactly the same questions.
Yeah, like, could we live with somewhere else? Would our kids have a better lifestyle? What would life look like outside the UK? Would we regret not trying? The truth is, we don't have the answers yet. That's why this podcast isn't about us pretending to be experts. It's just us learning publicly, would you say? We'll be speaking with families who have moved abroad permanently, families travelling full-time, families homeschooling, world schooling, families who have came home again, and families who have completely changed the way that they live. The idea is really simple: to learn from people who have already taken a leap and hopefully help other families feel less alone in asking the same questions we've been asking ourselves. And selfishly, we also just want to hear their stories, because I'm quite nosy.
Yeah.
And it's
sure.
very intriguing.
Yeah. And at the end of each episode, the plan is that we'll also ask our guests to pitch one place in the world where they've been, where they think that either you, our listeners, or us should experience as a family, somewhere that changed them, something that surprised them about that place, or made them think, actually, we could live here, or maybe they do live there now. And over time, we hope to build our own kind of Being Well family ranking system, where we'll maybe travel to some of these places, or maybe some of our guests will, and we'll get feedback. So really, the podcast is kind of part travel, part lifestyle, an experiment of how we live our lives, how other people live our lives, and part of us trying to figure out what a good life might actually look like for us and our family.
Yeah.
Sounds intense. Sounds crazy when you say it out loud. Did we miss anything? Do we miss anything? I don't think, yeah, we want to try and keep this one brief.
Yeah.
But
I think, just to reiterate, one of the biggest reasons we're doing this podcast is because we know there are families out there doing this already in ways that we can't even imagine yet. Families who have taken risks,
Yeah.
which we're going to do, sold everything, started again, travelling with kids, success, failed, rebuilt, world schooled, built businesses abroad, or just completely changed the way that they live. And we want to hear those stories properly. Not the polished Instagram versions, because we know there are those out there.
Yeah.
The real version. The mistakes, the wins, and the moments that made you think, yeah, this is worth it.
Yeah, agreed. And if you're listening to this and you think that your family has a story, a lesson, a lifestyle, or even just a place in the world that other families need to hear about, we would genuinely love to have you on this very podcast in the future. You don't need to have a massive following. It's not about that. You don't need to be an expert, and you definitely don't need to have it all figured out. But if your family's chosen a different path in some capacity, we really want to hear about it. So drop us a message. On Instagram probably is the easiest way to get us, at Being Well Family, and let's get something in the diary. And who knows, the place that is pitched to us might end up changing the direction of our family's journey completely, or of someone that's listening completely as well, which is super exciting. Anything more to add?
No, I just feel like I should do like the influencer thing of like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, that would be great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.